Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another video. I really appreciate you joining me and I really appreciate all my returning subscribers too. Thank you for joining me today. Today's video is going to be me telling you about my top mindset tips that have helped me to stay on my fitness and well-being journey, and these things have really motivated me and kept me going for the very first 6 weeks of my journey. So usually doing a journey like this, or like a kind of fitness reset-y thing, I would find a little bit of a slump around about week 3 or 4. I haven't really felt that. I'd say probably week 5 I was a bit like bit bored, but I managed to pick it back up, and I think these mindset tips have really helped that. So I'm going to share some of them with you today. So my top tip number 1 is a mindset tip. Well, is it a mindset tip? I'm not sure you could call it a mindset tip, but one of my absolute top tips is to fit your routine and your fitness goals and stuff around your life. Don't fit your life around your fitness and goals. So the way that I've done that is I work it into my life as a mum. So I don't just have the luxury of sort of logging out of work and going to the gym. I have to plan it around when's my husband going to be here for my little one, when will my little girl not be here, or when will she be somewhere else, so that I can then go do that. So the way I've been doing it is I've been getting up early in the morning. I wasn't sure if that was something I'd be able to do or something that I would really enjoy, but it turns out I actually really enjoy the me time in the morning and getting up really early. So I'm loving doing that. So look at your routine and see what fits around your life. Don't try and fit your life around your routine. That is a big thing. That was a massive realization for me. On all my previous journeys since becoming a mum, I've tried to do like 5 workouts a week, and that didn't work. I was always like failing and dropping out and kind of going back to the start and then trying to do 5 a week. That was just too much. Or realistically for me, 3 was the bare minimum. So that is kind of the bare minimum that I go for each week, like workout wise. And that is actually working. It's really working. So look at your life and don't look at all the Instagram people or fitness people and think, well, if they're doing 5 or 6 a week, then I need to be doing 5 or 6 a week. You need to do what fits around your life. And that has been changing, like life changing for me fitness wise. I always push myself too much, and actually bringing the goals back in helps me feel a bit more of a sense of accomplishment, because I'm actually achieving these goals because they fit my life. Like, so 3 a week, that's relatively easy. 5 a week, I could never really do consistently, and then I felt like I was failing and then sort of just dropping out. So yeah, definitely one of my top tips. My next top tip is the law of diminishing returns. So this is something that I learned through the Emma Story Gordon fitness podcast, and she talks about it on her social media, on her EC method, the one she does with Chloe Madeley, on her Commit to 6 thing. So Emma is absolutely amazing. I've listened to so many of her podcasts, and I do so on every single one of my walks or on my way up to the gym. I'm always listening to Emma, and she has so much good information and knowledge to share, and she breaks it down in a really easy way. So she talks about this much more articulately than me, and I will probably butcher it, but the basic principle behind it is you get 90% of the enjoyment of something through the first little bit of time. So say it's food, if it's a pizza, you get 90% of the enjoyment in the first slice, maybe a little bit less enjoyment in the second slice. The third slice, you may be like, okay, what else is this going to bring me, like the first 2 haven't. So I apply that to sort of food and things. So if I'm having chocolate, I would use, like we used to share, me and my husband, like the big share bars of chocolate. So half of that is quite a lot. So I think about it this way now as, okay, so the first 2 or 3 squares I'm going to absolutely love, I'm going to savour them, I'm going to enjoy them. But how much enjoyment is the 4th or the 5th square going to give me? A lot less than the first ones. I've already enjoyed and experienced all the enjoyment in the first few. So that kind of helps me cut that down a little bit. Same with my workouts, I apply it to my workout routine. So most of my gym sessions are 40 to 45 minutes, give or take. I know that I can get my best work done in that 40 minutes. I can really train my body to not failure every time, but like really hard. And then after that, my energy's draining, my muscles are tired, I'm really fatigued, I'm not really getting much out of it. So there's no point in going to the hour mark or to the hour and a half for me, because I know I'm not going to get as much of a return that I will do in that first week. In that first 40 minutes. So yeah, law of diminishing returns. You're eventually you're going to get less from that behavior or that food or that task than you would at the start. So enjoy it at the beginning, and that as you stop to get enjoyment out of it, just stop. And that is really helping me to rein in calories and stuff like that. So I suggest, if you want to learn more about that, you go find Emma Story Gordon, because I absolutely butchered it, but it's something that I've been applying to my life and it is actually really working for me. It's a really good mindset to be in, that yes, I can enjoy this chocolate, or yes, I can have the pizza, but I'm just not going to have all of it. So my mindset tip number 3 is to focus on the bad days. So your good days are already good days. You've a good day potentially, you've probably already managed to do your steps, managed to do a workout, managed to meet your goals and your food and your calories and eat well. That's fine, that's a good day. That's a behaviour that you want to continue. But I'd say focusing on the bad days to bring them up to okay days means you're going to, over time, be a little bit more consistent. So if there's a day where, for example, if I'm going into the office, I might not get to go to the gym in the morning. Yes, I might get my steps in because I'll make myself walk to the train station rather than taking the car, but I'm going to be pretty sedentary all day that day. Am I going to have time to fit in a workout? Maybe, but probably not. So focusing on getting those steps in, going to the train station, going up to work and then taking the stairs rather than the lift, that sort of thing. Focus on that sort of bad days, and what food choices can I make on those days to maybe have like higher protein, lower calorie meals, as I'm pretty sedentary. And then that brings that bad day, which could have been no steps, sedentary all day, eating out the canteen at work, which is gross. Or it used to be, I don't know what it's like post-COVID, but it used to be pretty bad. So make the bad days okay days, and then your good days are consistently good days anyway, and that's going to bring up the level of consistency and routine and all that sort of thing. So I really do note when my bad day, well, not bad days, I note when I'm going to have a difficult day to meet my goals, and I try and work on it and try and fit things in around what I have to do and where I can do something. So if that is getting up earlier to go an hour's walk, then that's what I have to do, and that is what I've been doing, and I have been enjoying it. So that brings me to top tip number 4 for a healthy mindset, and that is consistency over time is better than being perfect, trying to hit perfection levels all the time. So consistency over time. So I like the sort of 80-20. So food wise, I will make sure that my main meals are like spot on, are high protein, filling, full of veg, really nutritious. And then with the snacks, I can put in like things that I really want to have, or kind of tailor it that way. So even though it workouts, consistency over time, if there's a day where you can do 3 sessions a week, but you actually normally do 4, then do your 3 sessions, because the consistency over time, you're going to make much better results being consistent for a long period of time than being perfect for 3 to 4 weeks and then dropping right back to zero. There was an analogy, which again Emma Story Gordon mentioned in one of the podcasts I was listening to last week, about pushing a boulder up a hill. If you're pushing that boulder up the hill and you decide to just stop and step off to the side, the boulder's going to roll back down. It's not going to wait for you to jump right back on and start pushing it back up, if that makes sense. If you're trying to meet fat loss goals or physique goals or any sort of goals like that, if you stop, you're going to go backwards. Your body's not just going to wait for you to then jump back on to keep going. I hope that makes sense. Emma obviously articulates all of this stuff much better than me, but she's been absolutely amazing for learning it and hearing it in a variety of different ways, even the same things over and over again, but in different ways, and it helps it really to sink in. So mindset tip number 5 is quitting will just make it take longer. I tell myself that so often. If I feel like quitting, which to be fair, on this sort of 6-week process so far, I haven't really felt like quitting, because I am really loving it and I am quite highly motivated, but quitting will just make it take longer. Quitting will make you go right back to square one again, and I've been back at square one so many times that I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to square one. I want to keep going. I want to go to square 6, 7, 8 and just want to keep going. So that is something that I do tell myself quite often. Quitting will just make this process take even longer, and the days are going to pass anyway. You might as well be working towards your goals for those days, or at least trying to work towards some sort of goals those on the days, because the time's going to pass regardless. So speaking of goals, that brings me to mindset tip number 6, and that is to focus on process goals, not outcome goals. So process goals for me are walk-in, water, high protein, lots of veg, minimum of 3 workouts a week, my non-negotiables, and my non-negotiable is 8,000 steps a day. So that is the process goals. That is what is going to get you to the outcome goal, which for me is to lose X amount of weight on the scales. So focusing on, if I was to focus on the outcome goal, the weight on the scales, I'm going to be demotivated very, very quickly, because weight fluctuates and it's always going to fluctuate. That is something that you can't actually really control, but focusing on the process goals, I can control whether I do a minimum of 8,000 steps a day. I can control whether or not I do 3 workouts a week. I can eat high protein. I can plan good meals and put loads of veg in them. That's things that I can control and can do, and that in turn will help me to meet the outcome goal, but I can't really do anything about the scale weight directly. So that's what I mean by focus on the process, not the outcome. And that is really helping me, just taking it day by day and ticking it off. Yes, I've done 8,000 steps. Most of the time I'm doing over 10 or 12,000 steps, but my non-negotiable is 8,000. Yes, I'm doing 3 workouts a week. Yes, I've been like all that. That is really, really helpful to meet those each day, and those are easier to meet each day than to think about this number of on the scale that means really nothing. It doesn't really mean anything at all. It doesn't tell you your value. It's a number on a scale. It's your gravitational pull to the earth. It means absolutely nothing. And my last top tip is top tip number 7, which is a cruise week is okay. So a cruise week, by cruise week, I mean a week that you're not particularly going to be dropping scale weight if that is your goal, or you might not be able to be your top, like meeting all of your goals for that week like you have in other weeks. So maybe if you're really, really busy at work, or if you're on a holiday or something like that, I would class that as a cruise week. So to me that would be a maintenance week. So I've got a holiday coming up. So I've got a holiday coming up in a week on Friday, and I'm going away Friday to Monday in a caravan, and we are going to be eating and drinking over 2 nights, certainly 2, possibly 3. It's just me, my mum and my toddler on night 3, so I could probably rein it in a little bit then. But the first 2 nights we have company, so we'll probably be enjoying lunches out, dinners out, drinks and stuff like that. So that will absolutely be a cruise week for me. So I've already looked ahead and planned how I can make the best choices in the 4 days leading up to that, and then the 4 days after that, and fitting in the workouts and the steps before and after it. I will take some healthy options for snacks and breakfast, because that is the 2 meals that I have a say over. I will choose a healthy lunch. That will probably be something like a tuna sandwich, a chicken panini, well, I say healthy, like a high protein. I'll try and go for chicken or tuna. And then dinner's free for all, really. I will try and make the best choices that I can, but I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going on holiday. It's good. That's what I mean by cruise week. You still have to enjoy your life. You still have to go out and live your life and learn how to put all of your kind of things that you're learning during this process into a real life situation. If I was to say, no, I'm on a health and fitness kick and I'm not going out to meet friends, I'm not going on any holidays all summer this year until I meet this goal or this weight on the scales, I'm not then learning anything about how to just live a life with these healthy habits and maintain or lose fat or anything like that. So I want to be kind of living my life whilst going to the gym and losing fat. So it doesn't matter how long it takes, it'll take however long it takes. Still focusing on these process goals, I will eventually get there, and yes, that'll be a cruise week. So that's what I mean by cruise week. Again, go to Emma's podcast. She explains it so much better than I do. So that brings me to the end of this video. I really hope you've enjoyed these tips, and I really hope they've been helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed them and what you think about them. It would be lovely to know, and I hope to see you again soon in another video. Bye bye.